Greetings, YouTube. People don't like having their privilege questioned. Um, but the most persistent and least logical complaint came from men I knew, men in the media. They could not speak, and yet they were speaking. Near the end of 2014, I remember the right to free speech under the First Amendment had been recast in popular discourse as the right to free speech without consequence, without reaction. And the first comment on this thread here is cogent. I blame religion, American style, which has taught people that, but this is what I believe, is some kind of absolute justification that indemnifies you against disagreement. And I see that all the time. The concept that if someone fervently believes in something, that something must be a universal truth. And that isn't so, because there has been in the past in the United States, and there is in the world today, a persistent belief among some people that you can own someone, that slavery is okay, or I can barter my daughter for resources and send her to go marry some guy she doesn't know who's 20 years older than she is when she's 14. Or gay people should be hunted and beaten. These are things that are fervently believed in by some folks. That doesn't mean that those beliefs cannot be questioned. And there are lots of them. The poor should suffer. That's one that is very popular in America today. Trans people should not be able to be in public. There's another one. Businesses should be able to deny anyone they want to the ability to do business. That's another one we have in the U.S. The Supreme Court likes that one. And people don't like having their privileged questioned. It drives them insane. It makes them feel persecuted. But they're not being persecuted. None of the statements I just made are being applied to them. But just the fact that they are being questioned, just the fact that someone is saying what you believe is not a universal truth, does not apply to everyone. And just because you believe it doesn't make it true, and doesn't mean everyone should live by those standards that you have arbitrarily created. Remember the first three words of the Declaration of Independence: we the people. We should be doing what's best for us collectively. Not just white folks, not just men, not just Christians, not just straight people, not just cis people. No. Everybody. And we don't. And when we question that, when we say, oh, that's not right, just because you've been in charge since the Declaration of Independence still had wet ink on it, doesn't mean you should remain in charge. And statistically, in 2040 or 2044, in that range, the United States is going to become a majority-minority country. And I'm really hoping I get to live that long. Really, I do. That would be pretty grand. When white people finally are no longer statistically in charge. Of course, we're going to still be dealing with an apartheid type situation where white people will hold on to power for decades longer. But at least politically, there may be the chance that they can be voted out of the positions of power they have. And over time, chipped away at that until eventually, maybe in the United States, we the people means all of us. Collectively, one glorious us, where no one particular group is in power, and where the maximum number of rights have been extended to all of us. But in the meantime, there are people, white straight men, for example, that feel persecuted just because other voices are in the room now. They've never had to listen to those voices, ever. So, why should they listen now? And they don't like the fact that that questioning is not letting up, that it's becoming more persistent, and it's getting louder. And some of the people that are asking those questions look just like them.